Welcome to this webinar on how to submit the confirmation that you have delivered a service instead of lodging an invoice with CareConnect. Other webinars describe how to register and navigate the portal, how to do bulk uploads, and how to check the status of your submissions. You may recall that this page, once you have logged in, is unique to your particular organisation. Key datasets are across the bottom of the page: start date and time, end date and time, our client ID number or purchase order number, client name, item number that we've allocated to the particular service, the product name for the category we've asked you to deliver, the quantity calculated by the calculation of end date minus start date, or the quantity of a particular product or one requirement that's delivered, the unit price that you have advised us, and the line amount, quantity by unit price, GST, whether it's applicable, if it is, what that GST amount would be, a total, which is a calculation of the GST plus the line amount, the invoice ID for the recipient created tax invoice, vendor reference, which is information you have submitted to help you reconcile payments back to your financial accounting requirements, the payment due date, the date in which we are due to pay you, the payment date, the supplier confirmed date, which is what we'll be talking about in this session, the status of each service line, and the invoice for approval, IFA status, that is the status of variations. So once you are in accessing the portal, what you will be asked to do is to confirm that you have delivered a service. And this webinar will show you how to do that. So if we wanted to choose a particular client for this session to help limit the amount of data we need to deal with, we'll choose Aaron Zuniga. The status that we will choose is open, that is, that there's no confirmation of the status. And what we will be endeavouring to do here is confirm that the service is delivered, which will move the status of those entries we confirm to pending, which will be awaiting client confirmation. So what we will do is we will choose services from October and November last year. So we do that by selecting from the smart calendar the dates 1st of October to the 30th of November, and then click search. This now shows that there are 4 matching records in relation to this particular client. So let's look at the first line, 13th of October from 11 AM to 2 PM. Let's assume that we wanted to indicate that the start time and end time for this was later. So what we would need to do is choosing the end date first. We will change the date back, move it to 3 PM. And you'll notice that the text comes up in red. That indicates that you're doing some sort of a change. And we will move the start time up to 12. Everything else on this line is correct. Put in a vendor reference that will help you reconcile the payment back, and click Submit, Supplier Confirmed. This line on the 27th of October is correct, and we have nothing to add to it. So we will simply put in a vendor reference and click that it's been submitted. In relation to the entry for the 10th of November, the quantity was different. You will notice that there's no end date because this relates to a quantity only, in this case travel. Sometimes it might be a product. We change the quantity by putting an entry in here and confirming. And in this case, we actually want to cancel the requirement. So what you can do is one of 2 things. You can either change the start time to equal the end time, and you'll get an error message saying you're about to cancel the appointment. I'll show you another way of cancelling it. You can actually change the end time to the same as the start time. And again, you'll get the same error message. Do you wish to cancel the appointment? And in this case, we do. What you will need to do, of course, is still click that it's submitted. So there we have changes that we've made. One that we've confirmed the service has been delivered. One we have changed the time. You can do the changing of the date in the same way, and another where we've changed the quantity. Once you are satisfied that this actually reflects all that you have asked, or all that you have delivered rather, then you click Submit, and those entries are then submitted into CareConnect's system. You'll receive an alert saying that it's successfully submitted for processing. You can check this by choosing Pending status for the same period. What this means is that because you have notified, then CareConnect now has these as entering our system to go through the process of payment. You will note the blue text for those changes that you have made, and by hovering over, it will come up with what the original value was, so you can actually confirm what it was that was changed. What you can also do is, if you realise that this entry for the 27th of October was incorrect, you can unsubmit it. You cannot unsubmit it if you have already put in a change variation, because that has started the review process within CareConnect. Similarly, if the client has confirmed that they have received the service, you cannot unsubmit. In those situations where you've done something in error, you will need to contact CareConnect for us to work out what to do. In relation to these, you can go to Reset. We'll bring you back to the home page. One thing that you should be aware of is that entries for services that are dated before you registered for the portal, before the registration date for the portal, will not be shown. The other thing you should be aware of is that future dated entries cannot be changed or cannot be actioned. You are not able to confirm any delivery, and the status of anything that's there will appear under the supply confirm column as no. So it does not allow you to confirm a future dated service until that service date has arrived. So client confirmation occurs in a number of ways. The client themselves have a client portal that they can access and confirm delivery. So that can be useful for clients or for their family members where they're able to access that information. But we also recognise that not all clients have the technological skills or the ability to access the internet. If there is an IFA variation, then as part of our investigation of that IFA, that would of necessity confirm that the client has received the services. Where we're declining an IFA, we will still call you and speak to you about the particular situation and resolve something between us. Some providers have a client sign-off process that is robust and auditable. Where that occurs, CareConnect discusses that with you, and our contract allows us to come in periodically and audit accounts to make sure that what you are charging us is actually what has been delivered. In those instances, we would make the client confirmation process automated so that it would occur 24 hours after a supplier confirmation. And client confirmation can also occur by the care centre or client advisors through contact with the client and through their knowledge of the client's needs and service arrangements. Regardless, CareConnect will ensure that client confirmation occurs within 8 business days of the supply confirmation at a maximum. Once we have client confirmation, the payment process commences. CareConnect will generate a recipient-created tax invoice, or RCTI, as part of the payments process. The RCTI is allowed under Australian tax law and performs the same function as an invoice generated by you. A copy of the RCTI and the remittance advice will be sent to your standard nominated email address for those documents, and it will include the information that you include in the vendor reference field. Note that this email address may be different to the one that you have registered with the supplier portal. Data on the supplier portal is updated in real time for all clients, and support is available for users by dialing 1300 966 170, or you can send an email. If the inquiry relates to portal or technical issues that you're experiencing, for example, you need to reset your password, contact procurement@careconnect.org.au. For transactional inquiries, things related to client services, payment updates, or the status of variations can be emailed to transactions@careconnect.org.au. The user guide that was provided with your registration pack is also available on our website, www.careconnect.org.au/providers, and that will talk you through any problems that you may be experiencing. Once you have registered on the supplier portal, do not submit invoices for payment for services identified on the portal. The payment process will only occur through the supplier portal arrangements. Feedback on using of the portal is used to enhance the functionality and make it easier for you to use. So if you have any suggestions, please get in touch with us. We welcome any thoughts on how we can improve this process to make it easier for you and better for us. Thank you for listening to this webinar. There are other webinars on navigating and registering with the portal, using the bulk upload function, and how to check the status of your invoice. Thank you very much for listening.